درود دوستان، یه معرفی کوتاه از خودم دارم، بعد بریم سراغ این ویدیو که یه وبینار مشترک آموزشی تحصیلی با مسئول دانشگاه لب فنلاند هستش. اسم من مازیاره، 4 ساله که فنلاند هستم. سال 2021 اومدم اینجا برای دومین فوق لیسانس خودم که در رشته Sustainability Science and Solution در دانشگاه LUT مشغول به تحصیل شدم و سال 2023 درسم تموم شد. مدتی به عنوان ریسرچر در دانشگاه هلسینکی فنلاند مشغول به کار شدم و در حال حاضر منتور و مشاور آموزشی در دانشگاه LUT هستم و نماینده رسمی دانشگاه LUT و لب فنلاند همچنین هستم. تو این وبینار قراره که درباره اپلای برای رشته‌های لیسانس و ارشد دانشگاه لب فنلاند صحبت کنیم، شرایط تحصیل، ددلاین‌ها، نکاتی که دانشجوها و کسانی که میخوان بیان فنلاند نیاز دارن که بدونن، مثلا خونه‌های دانشجویی، هزینه‌ها، شهریه و هر چیزی که نیاز هست یه نفر بدونه برای اینکه بیاد برای تحصیل به فنلاند. این وبینار حتی میتونه برای دوستانی که در دانشگاه‌های دیگه هم میخوان مشغول به تحصیل بشن مفید باشه، چون در ابتدا فنلاند و سیستم آموزشیش معرفی میشه، بعدش میریم سراغ دانشگاه لب، امکاناتش، ویژگی‌هاش، شهری که اونجا واقع شده و تمام مواردی که نیاز هست یه نفر بدونه. پس بریم سراغ این ویدیو، با من همراه باشین. در انتهای ویدیو هم بخش پرسش و پاسخ داریم که سوالات بچه‌ها توسط خود مسئول دانشگاه پاسخ داده میشه. So, today's session is going to be something special. We're going to get a closer look at Lab University of Applied Science in Finland, one of the top applied science universities in Finland and Europe, of course, when it comes to innovation, sustainability, and high quality education. Whether you're thinking about studying abroad or just exploring options, you're in the right place. I'm very honored to introduce our guest speaker today, Mr. Ilyas, who's joining us officially from Lab University. He's going to walk us through everything from academic programs and life in Finland and answer your questions. Hello, Mr. Ilyas. Good morning.
Hello, Mazia. Good morning. How are you doing? Thank you for the.
Thank you for joining.
You're welcome. My pleasure. My pleasure. Welcome in, all ladies and gentlemen, in this session with Mozart representing Nordic Immigration, our official partner for Lab and LUT University. Thank you, Mozart, for the opportunity, and thank you all for your precious time. Hello, and a big welcome to this session today. Thank you for your attendance all the way from Iran. I know Iran is a beautiful country. I've heard a lot about the country, but I have never had a chance yet to visit your country. Probably one day I'll have to plan a visit there. I know that you have different landscapes. I've heard that you have different weathers, so almost like a continent. You could have snow, you could have heat, you could have mountains. You have a lot of different landscapes. I'm certain some of you are looking for opportunities to study abroad, study in Europe or the US, Britain, Australia, New Zealand. And in Europe, there are so many different destinations that you may think about. And one of them is the region of the Nordics, the Nordic countries, and more particular, Finland. Finland, far in the northern part of Europe, a unique country. And it offers a lot to internationals. Now, today we're going to do a presentation about Lab University of Applied Sciences. My name is Ilyas, and I represent 2 universities: Lab University of Applied Sciences and LUT University of Research. They are very different universities. These universities basically, they are together under one umbrella, okay? Now, the difference between the 2 universities, between Lab and LUT, is that Lab University of Applied Sciences is more of a university of applied science, applied learning, hands-on approach project-based learning, industry-oriented learning, a career-oriented learning. And basically the teachers who teach at lab, University of Applied Sciences, they're not necessarily professors. They are lecturers, they lecture at lab, but they are necessarily from the backgrounds of that industry. So they have a massive experience in the industry that they teach. So that's the necessity, or that's the fundamental difference between the University of Applied Sciences and the University of Research. Whereas University of Research, a lecturer or teacher has to have at least a PhD and postdoctoral studies. So meaning to be an assistant professor other than a professor. Now, let's focus today on Lab University of Applied Sciences, what it offers, and so on and so forth. But before we do that, I would like to talk about Finland. So why choose Finland? Now, why choose Finland? There's so many elements. Why would you choose Finland rather than other countries? As you know, Finland has been the happiest country in the world for 8 years now in a row, back to back, until 2025. Recently, a month ago, we've been nominated again as the happiest country in the world. So, what does it mean exactly? The happiest country in the world? Is it that we laugh and smile all the time here in Finland? Definitely not. I believe probably in Iran, people laugh and smile even more than we do here. In this country, it's all about being satisfied, content with decisions that you make personally or professionally in this country. Let's say, I always give this example because I think it makes more sense and it's very basic to deliver the message. Let's say if you are in engineering, okay, and then you've had enough of engineering, but you're in your late 40s, early 50s, and you decided, you know what, I've had enough of engineering. I would like, let's say, for example, to become an entrepreneur. I don't want to be an employee anymore in this country. I'd like to become an entrepreneur. Then the public institutions will say yes to you. What does it mean they say yes to you? Does it mean to just say yes, you can, and that's it? No. It means they say yes, and they support the yes with concrete actions to have you transit from an engineer into an entrepreneur. Meaning, let's say it starts with grants. Let's say startup grant. You'd like to have a startup grant, like a salary, a monthly salary, that supports you to run your business for at least 3 years. That's something that the institutions will do for you. Number two, if you have good kids that they need longer days in the päiväkoti, which is a kindergarten or in school, the government will help you to get subsidies in order to have your kids stay longer in the schools, or help you with an assistant with your kids at home, with the support of the government. So there's so many elements that are in place to support you in your decisions. This is why people in this country are satisfied and happy. Of course, we're not saying that we're the happiest. It doesn't mean that we don't have problems in life. We don't have challenges. Yes, we do. That's what makes life more tasty to live. But at the end of the day, we have the support of the public institutions. This is why the Finns are happy, and they are the happiest country in 8 years in a row. And this is something that you will encounter experience if you come to study here in Finland, or you come to study and stay in this country. The world's safest country, Finland until 2025, I should update 2025, both of these dates. Until now, Finland is one of the top safest country in the world. It means that we know now, unfortunately, around the world, there is a lot of chaos, there's a lot of uncertainty, there's a lot of instability in different countries. And safety has become #1 priority for students, for people who like to immigrate to new countries. Finland is one of the safest countries in the world, meaning when you walk in a forest or in a park, you're doing sports, jogging, male or female, let's say late at night, it's very rare that you'll be approached by a stranger, okay? Of course, we're not saying that we're 100% exempted from probably minor crimes, They happen here and there, but at the end of the day, we are safe. The cleanest air in the world. As you can see this picture, this is a real picture in a lake in Helsinki, the capital. That's a picture from Finland, which is very standard. We do have many of these forests. We do have thousands of lakes. We'll talk about the number of lakes that we have in Finland. So if you enjoy the nature, the peace, tranquility, serenity, Finland is definitely your place. Now, top OECD country in education. What is OECD? OECD is an organization that assesses education for K-12, meaning from kindergarten all the way to high school. So you may wonder, why are we talking about high school and kindergarten? I would like to study at university. It's very important that you know, when you move to a new country, whether you would like to, for example, stay in that country and build up your life after that, because you may be looking for a career. And then you wonder, would I, for example, would my kids, if I've got kids now, or in the future, would my kids receive quality education in Finland? Yes, Finland has got one of the top education systems in the world. And I know it's all world known that Finland has it. We're competing with Singapore, but the only difference is that we offer free education for kids. And it's a top world education. The most advanced country in the EU when it comes to utilizing the digital settings. Now, but why this is important? It's important for business, especially like to be an entrepreneur. This is something key. Land of thousands of lakes. Finland has got more than 180,000 lakes, meaning that almost wherever you go in your neighborhood, there is a lake, a walking distance, and 70% forestry. Of course, we have saunas. We have 3.5 million saunas in this country. We do enjoy saunas in the winter because it tends to get cold, so we need to get warm. And saunas are our place to go. Land of Santa Claus and Northern Lights. So you may wonder again, why are we talking about Santa Claus and Northern Lights? At Lab University of Applied Sciences or LUT University, we organize excursions for students to go and explore the country. And one of the places the students prefer to go to is the land of Santa Claus and Northern Lights, where in Lapland, it's a northern part of Finland. Most likely students would be visiting that place around November, December, just before Christmas, because it's a very popular place. Recently, we had a lot of celebrities coming to the land of Santa Claus or Santa Claus village. One of them was Cristiano Ronaldo and his family. So Finland is becoming increasingly key tourist destination, especially for winter skating and skiing. Now, the least corrupt country in the world. So why this is important to you as a student? Well, I know that you may come with a family, or you as a young person coming to Finland, you'd like to know whether you're going to a country where when you do 50% of your commitment, your obligations, do you get 50% of your rights? Yes. In Finland, you do 50% of commitment, you get 50% of your rights. And this is very important as you grow in life, because you would like to see a give back. And Finland is one of the places that gives you that. And it's the least corrupt country in the world. Now, enough about Finland. I'd like to display this video to you about the Finnishness. So what is it? What is the Finnish mentality? What is the Finnish culture all about? What do international students say about Finland and studies at LUT group or LUT universities, meaning LUT University and Lab University of Applied Sciences? Let's have a look at this video.
Well, when I came to Finland, I was amazed for the landscapes. I was like, you know, in Colombia we don't have seasons, so the first thing that I find out here, there were these beautiful trees, orange trees. They were all the
Mazia, you hear the sound, right?
Yes.
leaves falling down. So it was like really amazing. You cannot imagine the quantity of photos that I have from everywhere, from the lake. This city is amazing because of the Saimaa Lake.
And the first impression of Finland for me, it's the nature and the forest. After my study and I feel some tired, I just go to the lake and through the forest I jog.
First, when I think of Finland, I think of the wonderful nature, the clean water, the air, that you can just walk around and you can jog and you can explore the nature, and it's safe and it's wonderful. And these are the things I think we as Finns don't appreciate so much. But the more you travel, the more you go around the globe, the more you value the things we have here in Finland.
I really like the country, the people, like helpful people, because actually in Skinnerill we have this Skinnerill spirit where everyone helps you.
Before coming, I had a lot of heard a lot of stereotypes about Finnish people, and what I find out is like some of them are true. They're a little shy and a little introvert, but in the same time they are really, really kind. I find out a lot of people, they are kind of afraid because I don't speak Finnish, but still they are really willing to help me.
Finnish people have a very sophisticated society. Why I say that is because people trust each other a lot over here. I feel many of the systems around Finland, not only in LUT but around Finland, is based on a trust factor, and that is something really impressive for me.
If you come here, you see professors and teachers and students who are hardworking, they are achievement oriented, but on the other hand, it's also a very informal culture and environment. And this is something that our international students, they are very delighted and even surprised, because it's very non-hierarchical. It's very, actually, I would say that the culture is very much based on respect and trust. And this is very Finnish.
Every event, every action, every party, every business meeting, and so all of this ends up in sauna. That was really funny to know about Finland.
The weird thing about Finland, which I never knew before coming here, is the sauna culture.
Yeah, we had this one sauna evening, and most of the international students were excited about the sauna, and I think they enjoyed.
I don't understand how people can get nude in public. I mean, in my country, it's a strict no to be nude, even with your friends or colleagues or anyone. But over here, it's very easy for people to be nude. I understand that it's in your culture, but then again, that is the weird thing that I found about Finland.
The Finnish is very respect for the personal spaces. Because even I walk on the street or go to the bus, I can feel that kind of the thing, because they want to keep distance with each other. It's not the negative way. It's just the cultural thing. They want to respect the others' spaces.
Behind this shyness, there is really good people, and they are willing to share their culture with me. So yes, I think it's amazing from Finland.
I've been to a few international parties with my international friends, and it has been very interesting to me also to experience these new cultures. For example, we Finnish people don't shake hands every day we see each other, but with all the international friends we shake hands when we see each other, and then we then go our separate ways.
Over here, trusting anyone is very easy because people are always honest about what they say. So that is something very impressive for me.
The silence is very important in Finland, because it's I think this city is not very big nor small. So when I'm walking on the street, I mean, in the morning of weekend, there are not so much people walking. So I just enjoying the silence and be in the moment. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So now enough about Finland. Now let's talk about Lab University of Applied Sciences. So where is Lab located? Lab is located in Lahti and Lappeenranta, two cities in Finland. So you may wonder, where is Lahti and where is Lappeenranta? Lahti is basically 1 hour by train to Helsinki, the capital of Finland. And then Lappeenranta, 2 hours by train to the capital, Helsinki. We are in the eastern south part of Finland. Now, let's have a look at both campuses, one in Lahti and the other one in Lappeenranta. Lab, University of Applied Sciences campuses. right, so that was lab in Lahti campus. Now let's move on to Lappeenranta campus. All right, those Lappeenranta campus. So we have got 2 campuses. I think you've seen them. Also in the Lahti campus, we have 5,800 students on the campus, 500 plus students. And I believe this number will double this year because we've received a lot of international students. So why the huge difference? Because lab offers programs in Finnish language as well for Finnish students. And there are degree programs in English. We'll talk about the degree programs in English shortly. The same here, Lappeenranta campus, the number of students, 3,600. 600 plus international students. Again, the same. We have English taught degree programs and Finnish taught degree programs. But of course, we're going to focus on English taught degree programs. And obviously, we have an e-campus, so remote learning, mainly for master's degree programs. We have got 5 master's degree programs online, remote learning. But I think our focus will be more on the bachelor's degree at lab. Okay, so let's start with the first program at Lab University of Applied Sciences. The first program is paramedic nurse. Okay, paramedic nurse, which is in the Bachelor of Healthcare. We have got paramedic nurse and we have got public health nurse. Let's hear a testimonial from a student in the paramedic nurse. So why I chose paramedic nursing? I chose paramedic nurse because it's one of the flagship degree programs at Lab University. Basically, it has the most diversity of international students, meaning different nationalities in there, number one. Number two, in this program, you get to have the most lengthy or the most extended practical training in a hospital or a terveysasema, which is a health station in Finland. 9 months practical training while you're studying. So within the degree program, you will have 9 months of studies. Within that 9 months, you will be practicing your studies and practicing your Finnish language. Now, you may ask, do I need Finnish language before I apply? No, you don't need any Finnish language when you apply. The learning of Finnish will happen within the program, especially in paramedic nurse and public health nurse. So let's have a look at the student's testimonial about paramedic health nurse.
This degree is for those kind of students who are interested to take care of people, but at the same time they are not afraid of acute situations.
For nurses and paramedics, no 2 days are the same. You can have lots of patients with kind of different diseases, and also you can help them with different manner.
This paramedic degree actually includes the paramedic national degree, which is valid here in Finland, but also it includes the registered nursing degree, which is recognized by European Union, which means that with this nursing degree, you can actually work inside of EU as a nurse. So a lot of job opportunities after graduation, but also during the studies as well.
For me, it was so interesting and also rewarding to find a job as a student after just 1 year, which was so surprising. As a student, you can have a good job and also you can have a good life quality.
I think in the future, the technology will take a bigger role. We try to use as much as technology in this education as possible, and we try to teach our students different ways to use these electronic services and different kind of electronic equipments.
As a paramedic or nurse, you are going to be the most crisis moment of a person's life. For example, they call you for help, or you're working in hospital for help. So you can do your best for your patient, and then he or she can recover after days or even that moment. And then, you can have a huge impact on your patient life.
We can really help the people who is in acute situation. So the things that we are doing matters their lives significantly.
All right, so that was paramedic nurse, and public health nurse is almost the same program. We'll just go straight to Google here and actually Google it. We go like this, public health nurse, lab university, and you do a short video here. Probably not a short video. There could be a video here straight. So this is another program. So there's public health nurse and there's paramedic nurse. They are slightly different, but the programs are the same. So basically, if you do public health nurse, you can qualify as a paramedic nurse, or if you do paramedic nurse, you can qualify as a public health nurse. The only difference is the application period is different. And obviously, the diploma is not only recognized in Finland, it's recognized within all within Europe. So which gives more opportunity for job opportunity.
Public health nurse is an expert or nurse working, and especially public health work, and promotive and preventive work. Public health nurse emphasized a strong perspective of health promotion, the courage to make independent decisions and work in multi-professional groups. Benefits of studying here is high quality teaching, and also we have very encouraging system, and everyone gets help if it's needed. Public health nurse education is for everyone who is interested in working on promoting health of people of different ages. The field is extremely interesting and we have plenty of work. Feel free, apply, study with us. You will not be disappointed.
Okay, so that was public health nurse. Okay, let's move on. Now, technology studies. At Lab University, we'll talk more about the other programs because we have got social and healthcare. We have got technology. We have got business. We have got hospitality and management, and we have got business and design. We'll come back to those programs in a bit.
Lab is a great choice to study, especially like industrial and sustainable technologies, because we have also like R&D projects on that field. So we are trying to always keep on head of things.
So lab is not only about teaching and educational courses, but we also have research-based.
The engineering programs address different themes such as sustainability, green transitioning, and then also they have a strong background in the traditional studies. You have to have a strong background in the basic things in order that you can be innovative and create new stuff.
The staff who are working here, the lecturers, the RDI specialists, they are experts in circular economy. They are experts in sustainable solutions. Many of them come from the background either from research area, but also many are coming from company side. So now they can also transfer this knowledge for the students, which could be helpful for them for their future career.
We start from day one to help you to get involved and get a network of different kind of companies. The companies will come and visit us. They will have guest lectures. You have a possibility during your studies to prove to the companies that you are worth hiring. And also most of our theses are made for companies.
The students will have their own student tutor at the beginning of their studies. But beside that also we have tutor teachers as well who are fully there for the students to help them during their studies and give them an individual, for example, consultant to what kind of courses, how their studies are going on.
Lab and its campuses are very high-tech. Our campuses, both in Lappeenranta and Lahti, they have been renovated recently.
They are very updated. Students can access to, for example, all the facilities anytime that they want. Finland has very unique nature. For example, nature is very accessible everywhere that you go. You just come out of your house and there it is, the forest, the lake. If you want to live in more like industrial and busy cities, still you have the option, so you can choose where you want to live.
In the Finnish working life, I value the Finnish way of doing things. We do what we promise. We are on time. We're a bit modest. We always see the things that they are not ready yet, although they might be. We always want to upgrade it or do it better, and that is kind of like the drive. In Finnish work life, we call that the sisu kind of way to think, things that we will push through even the grey rocks.
All right, so that's a sneak into our technology programs with the research and development and project-based learning. So why lab? Well, both worlds, the best of both worlds. Lab University, basically, in any degree program that you study, you will have project-based learning, meaning that you'll have projects. Some of them are virtual projects, some of them are physical ones. Some of them are with real companies. Basically, in other words, let's say, for example, if you're doing business, there will be projects with a company, let's say in supply chain management. You'd like to understand more like logistics management. There will be more of software systems that help you out to understand how the logistics work and probably do projects in logistics for that company. And it could be, for example, finance and accounting. Of course, you will do real accounting for a company on a given project on a given period of time. You understand a lot of things when it comes to cash flow and more complex, profound financial terms that will come up in your studies. And obviously, when it comes to healthcare, I talked about practical trainings. The same applies to all degree programs in engineering, in hospitality and management. We'll come to hospitality management and design. So in every single program, you are obliged to do a practical training before you graduate. And the practical training goes for 5 months, okay? Not necessarily in Finnish language, it's normally in English, but in health and in health, it's mainly Finglish. It's a mix of English and Finnish because you're still learning. But after all, when you graduate in those public health nurse and paramedic nurse, you graduate with a Finnish language level of B2, means that you're ready to go for the working life for both English and Finnish language positions. Now, this is why the best of both worlds, the world of the academic world, as well as the world of career. Now, lab in figures, these are some figures at lab about international students. And then one important figure at lab is actually the partner universities that we have. So if you're studying at lab and you would like to do a study abroad program within Europe or let's say other countries outside Europe, We have 300 partners. You can do a semester abroad, probably to enhance your learning on a given arena. Now, the best of both worlds. Obviously, Lab is a quality university within Finland which offers quality education. And as I mentioned earlier, it's a multidisciplinary working life projects, meaning that when you study at Lab, you can study business but take up some credits for technology, engineering, or the other way around. Or let's say, for example, you do business and you take some credit from hospitality and management and tourism, or you take design studies and then you do some engineering credits. So it's a multidisciplinary working life projects that you'll have within Lab, and not only projects but learning as well. And of course, Lab focus on circular economy, design, innovations, and health, and all under the umbrella of sustainability. Now, of course, the world-class education in one of the safest countries in the world. I mentioned earlier about safety and so on. So you're in peace of mind when you're studying. You focus in your studies in a safe country which provides quality education. A Lab is part of LUT universities, meaning that you don't have only access to Lab laboratories. You have access to LUT as well, laboratories. And you can even take up some credits from LUT University of Research, which means that you're hitting two birds with one stone. Now, education. So what does Lab offer? Lab offers 11 bachelor degree programs taught in English, purely in English, okay? And of course, 5 master's degree programs. But we'll focus more on the bachelor's programs. The master's ones are all listed in there. Business, innovation, culture and creativity, urban sustainability, Master of Social Science and Healthcare, Emergency Crisis and Development Leadership, Master degree programs in Circular Economy, Arts, Design for the Planet, in Technology Transformation Leadership. These are more for people who have already have a long career and they would like just to take something remote to improve their skills. But then, Bachelor, we have 11 bachelor programs, and 4 of them are in engineering, Bachelor of Engineering, Industrial Information Technology, Industrial Mechanical Engineering, Sustainable Construction Technology, Sustainable Solutions Engineering. So these are the programs all offered in English, okay? And then business, Bachelor of Business Administration, International Business, Business Information Technology. For the Business Information Technology, it's a combination between business and technology. So if you're a person who would like to take both worlds, which is very important in the future, then you're looking at business information technology. International business is more of international marketing, finance and accounting, supply chain management, human resource management, and project management, and more, of course, deeper secondary courses you'll take up. And of course, in the business, you can be aligned with the startup hubs on both campuses. The startup hubs meaning that you will be in a hub of entrepreneurs. We have a hub dedicated for students who are interested in doing their startups. And we have even every year the grant for the best winner of those startups. And they get money if they have a great or brilliant idea, whether they do it individually or in a group. Now, social services and healthcare, Bachelor of Healthcare, paramedic nurse, public health nurse. So these are very unique programs and with very high sophisticated facilities that we have at Lab, both in Lahti and Lappeenranta. So that's a degree program that is very practical as well, and you will have 9 months practical training. And normally the jobs in this domain are very, very high because in Finland we need a lot of workers in this domain as well as within Europe. Okay, so if you get this degree, you not only qualify as a nurse, public health nurse or paramedic nurse in Finland, but also in Europe. Okay, now, next, Lab Design and Fine Arts. So Bachelor of Culture and Arts, Sustainable Design Business. So Lab is the largest design educator in Finland. What does it mean? It means that we have a large laboratory for designers. Mainly when you're studying at Lab Design, you are doing business design, meaning that a lot of companies these days, they're looking to become more sustainable. In other words, they're looking to recreate their services and products. In other words, they need people who have a business perspective and have an eye on design to recreate those services and products. And this course serves that purpose. And they have a very large laboratory full of equipments, cameras, and very heavy equipments, expensive ones for students to go and learn. So it's more of project-based learning design course. This is when it comes to design, tourism, and hospitality. Bachelor of Hospitality and Management. Again, it's another project-based learning. So you may wonder, how does it work? When it comes to this one, when you say project-based learning, we have a restaurant at lab. I repeat, yes, we do have a restaurant at lab. A restaurant that is run by students, mainly supervised by their teachers. So they run the restaurant. They have in different seasons, different menus and different cuisines. Sometimes Mediterranean, sometimes Asian cuisine, sometimes cuisines from Africa. So the idea here is the students get together to learn how to work in groups, number one, to learn how to do hospitality and management. They're not only learning how to do hospitality by preparing the menu, offering the best menu, and attracting customers, but they're learning how to run a business because it's tourism and hospitality management. Now, this is the degree that requires that. And of course, there has to be practical training of mine, 5 months in a hotel or in a classy restaurant when to do the management and hospitality. Okay. Now, tuition fees, discounts, and scholarships. Let me disclose one very key information. This year is the last year. If you'd like to apply and you're in 2 minds, this year is the last year in Finland where tuition fees and scholarships will be that generous. Because in Finland, from next year and on, there will be some change in scholarships and tuition fees in the whole Finland for universities of applied sciences and universities of research, both. They will increase a bit tuition fees and scholarships and decrease discounts on scholarships. Why? Because this has been running for 5 years and everything has increased. Inflation has eaten countries, unfortunately, including education. So this year is the last year to have generous scholarships that I'll talk about. The regular tuition fee is 8,000 for bachelor's programs and 9,000 for masters. But single degree programs. So here we have got an early bird discount of 20% from what? From 8,000 bachelor programs for the first year. So you pay 6,400 rather than 8,000. What is an early bird discount? Okay, there is an application now, an application period, which is coming in July this summer for 3 programs. I'll talk about these 3 programs, but I'll talk about those programs that you can apply because lab has got 2 application periods and 2 intakes. We'll talk about that in a bit. So 8,000 minus 6,400. What does it mean, early bird discount? Early bird discount means when you apply and we send you acceptance letter, you have 3 weeks to accept your study place and pay tuition fees to receive 20% off. So you pay 6,400 eventually rather than 8,000. Then now, second and third year. At lab, studies take 3 years to 4 years. It could be 3 years, 3 years and a half, 4 years, depending. But you can finish it in 3 years. You can finish your study in 3 years, maximum 3 years and a half, unless you go to extra length, and that's 4 years. But how does it work with scholarships? You have 50% off from the second year. But what do you need to do to have that 50% off from 8,000 and you pay only 4,000? Basically, you need to finish 60 credits or complete 60 credits in the first year. 60 credit means that you're naturally committed to your studies because every year, normally, you will have to finish 60 credits to finish your degree program, all right, at lab university. Now, third year, you finish another 60 credits. In the second year, you receive another 50% off. So this is how it goes, right? We're not going to talk about master because it's mainly remote, but you have the information there about master anyways. When I say remote for masters, meaning that you can't apply for student residence permit to come to Finland with that master studies, with those master studies. For now, there could be some changes in the future that you still can. Okay, now these are scholarships and discounts we're talking about. Cost of living. Compulsory fees, student union fee, very important that you engage with the student union fee, and it's only 35 euros per year. Okay, access to student healthcare service, 8 euros per academic year. So 80 euros, you have access to doctor, dental services, and nurse within our campus. 80 euros per year only. There's a lot of subsidies from the Finnish government to international local students in the healthcare. And of course, all the subsidies, we'll talk about them in a bit. General prices. Cost of living in Finland. How much does it cost to live in Finland? Before we talk about how much does it cost in total, we have two types of accommodation. Is accommodation guaranteed? Yes. We'll talk about who offers the accommodation. Accommodation here is offered by Lappeenranta by Laues. Okay? Ilahti by Lahdintalot. That's a picture from a real accommodation of a student. Okay? We have high standards of accommodation. Now you may wonder, why is that cheap? Shared apartment meaning two students shared an apartment together. Okay? And the apartment is normally 50 to 60 meters square. You have your own room, space for living room, and a kitchen. But that picture is a studio. Okay? If you like to have more privacy, then you can have your own studio. The studio would cost around 400 euros. Shared apartment is 280 euros, 300, 320, depending on the place. Okay? Normally it's walking to the campus, or by bus it takes only 15 minutes. And then there is Lahti campus. There is Lahdintalot, which is an organization that operates in the lab, and LUT, that provides accommodation for students, and it's guaranteed. So the studio, that's the cost. The apartment shared one, that's the cost. Normally I would say average is 300 euros. If you apply early, 300 euros, 310, 320. Okay, now how much does it cost for food at our campus? How much is the food at our campus? It costs between €1.50 to €2.95 for lunch. And you may wonder, what's the menu? We have 4 different restaurants. You can choose any menu that you want. Normally there's chicken, meat, there's vegetarian options, milk, juice, and salad, and fruits. Okay, so that's how it's served. And you may wonder why these fees are quite affordable. Because, for example, the lunch, normally myself as an employee at Luton Lab, I would pay €7.50 for that meal, but students pay only between $1.50 to $2.95. Why? Because the Finnish government provides a subsidy through Kela. You'll get to know that later on. The same applies to accommodation. Now, we're coming to the most important chunk of this presentation, admission criteria and dates. Okay, before I disclose information about this, I'd like to mention one thing. So Nordic Immigration is our partner, and they have been working hard, and they have recruited really quality students so far to Lund University and started to recruit to lab. Now, if you need help with the application, with any information about lab, application period, admission criteria, application form, if you have got any questions about this, Nordic Immigration is our official representative, and they can answer those questions to you. At the same time, they are in contact with me to answer any inquiries that their represented students may have. Okay, now briefly, let's go through the admission criteria of lab. Lab has got 2 intakes, one in January, and the other one is in July. The one that they call minor. You see the minor there? So the major normally is in January. So it's already expired now. Until next January 2026, there will be application period for all the programs, except Bachelor of Culture and Arts. They go through lab separate application. And then all the programs, most of the programs, but then there's a minor one. The minor one is the one that is coming in July. So if you're thinking about applying, it's from the 15th of July until 31st of July, okay? And what programs can you apply to? International business, business information technology, healthcare, public health nurse, okay? Not paramedic nurse. Paramedic nurse is through the major one, January. July, I repeat, international business, business information technology, healthcare, which is public health nurse, okay? Through lab separate application. The admission criteria, we need all of those documents. There are 5 groups at lab, categorized all in different categories. The most of your concern is group 1. Applicants with an upper secondary education complete outside of EU and EAE area. They need a diploma, whether they complete their studies or not. If they haven't completed their studies, they have to complete their study by the end of August and send their final degree certificate of high school. If not, if they complete already, so high school certificate, transcript of records, all the years in high school, English language tests. So English language tests, we'll talk about that in a bit. Group 2 is only for international baccalaureate, European baccalaureate and A levels, taken outside of Finland. Okay, Group 3 is only for those who have done their studies within EU or EA area. So none of your concern. Group 4 is for English-speaking countries. Group 5 for SAT. If you have got SAT, you are within Group 5. Okay, so what language requirements do we have? 6.0 in IELTS. These are all the recognized exams at lab. What's the minimum GPA we require for my high school grades? All the total high school grades, 65% minimum. Okay, now, one thing I'd like to mention here. I'd like to press here. So you may wonder, why are there groups? Why are there groups in there? Basically, because in each group, there's an assessment. When we go down, selection and evaluation process, how our admission team evaluates. Group 1 and 3, you are in Group 1, right? Now, the first thing is the GPA, 65%. Now, the GPA, 65% is the most minimum one. The higher, the better points you receive. Language, of course, if you have got these ones, language, as you can see, if we do IELTS, 6.0 is minimum, but you get only 1 point. You jump to the next one, you get 3 points. This year, in January, the students who were accepted, I believe they got 4 to 5 points. Okay, so basically you do the math. 3 points if you get 6.5, and then GPA, the higher points, the better. Okay, this is how it works. This is why we have the groups. Now, when you apply to lab, you get accepted, you receive an acceptance letter, and you pay tuition fee, you receive a proof of payment. These are already 90% the documents that will grant you the visa or the student residence permit to come to Finland. Right now, so far, for lab and LUT, for Iranians, we do not have any refusals or rejections from the Finnish embassy, as long as you adhere to other documents. One of the most important documents is that you'll have to show that you have 9,800 euros in your account to cover your living expenses, because Migri is our immigration services that recommends 800 euros at least to cover your living expenses in Finland. That includes accommodation, food, transport, access to healthcare, sports. So you may wonder, how much does it cost to have sports in your campus? We have 60 plus sports clubs. We have a gym, group and team sports or individual sports. Altogether, you're paying only around 80 euros per year. 80 euros per year. So all the living expense in Finland, the Migri obliges students to have 800 euros in their account. And you may ask, is it a blocked account? No. You have to show it when you apply for the visa. Normally, you show the 3 months bank statement. The worst case scenario was 6 months, but 3 months, I think, is more than enough. Now, anyways, you have to have it in the time of applying. Now, for the Migri, you can check out our website to understand more how the student residence permit is applied to Finland. And of course, Mazia and Nordic Immigration, they can help you with that matter as well. Okay. No need for this contact details probably for now. This is the end of my presentation about Lab, University of Applied Sciences. If you have got any questions, I'm more than ready, with pleasure, to answer your questions. Mazia, if you have got any questions.
Thank you, Julius. We can move to the question and answer section and see what people are asking. Everyone can drop the message here in the chat box if you have any questions. And okay, let's see. They say that there is no age limit for applying to universities in Finland, but how true is that in reality? Shehriye is asking this question.
In admission criteria, as you can see, we do not have any age limit at all. okay, in Finland. You can apply even if you're 40 or 50. You can apply. The only thing that you may need to prove is when you apply for a student residence permit to the Migri, that, for example, what you've been doing in your life. Apart from that, in our admission criteria for the university, we do not consider the age factor.
Okay, great, thank you. What would you recommend to get scholarships?
Basically, we talked about already a scholarship, 50% off. This one, basically, you just need to finish 60 credits in the first year, and you get scholarship 50% in the second year. Another 60%, 60 credits, and you do another third year, 50% off. If you stay even for the fourth year, then you do another 60 credits. 60 credits is very natural commitment to your studies because you're obliged to finish 60 credits. Normally, that's what you do. So you just chose that you committed naturally to your studies, you receive 50% off. If you're talking about more scholarships, we do not have more scholarships.
Okay, thank you. And the next question from Musa. He's asking about admissions to start the degree in September 2025. Well, the 2025 masters are already, the admission are already passed, closed, and the only option now available is bachelor's in LUT, rolling admissions, which are double degrees. You start with bachelor for 3 years and then you go for master's. In total, 5 years. Those are the only options which are still open for the next 20 days till end of this month. You can check the criteria.
Mozia, I would like to point something here. That's LUT University. Now,
yeah,
as Mozia says, yes. Yes, for lab, the bachelor of this in July, the application period, when you apply in July, you start your studies in January 2026. For those who applied in January lab 2025, meaning 3 months ago, those will start their studies in autumn 2025, meaning August, September. But as Mozia mentioned, LUT, if you'd like to start in September 2025, bachelor's LUT University, which is different from lab. They operate under the same umbrella, but that's University of Research. It has different programs, different admission criteria. You can contact Mozia about that. LUT, the application period is open until the end of April. But for lab, it's starting in July.
Yes, thank you. The next question. Yes, as you can see, the website is here. You can start an application. And then you select the locations, whether in campus or in city center. Then you can see how square meter you need. Do you need a share apartment? Are you a family? You have children? You have pets or not, or whatever?
Yeah.
Next question about full funding studies for masters. I don't think so. Well, as we already explained, this year was the last for the generous discounts for masters in LUT University. But they are all the degrees are like you should pay the tuition, but there are scholarships, of course. I have a bachelor degree in psychology. Okay, it's not about this university, psychology. Question. Does it have any master program in civil and environmental engineering?
Civil and environmental engineering. We do not have in civil. We have in construction engineering. So
Yes.
it's a bit different. Yeah. It's more into the construction side rather than civil engineering.
And about environment?
Environment only in masters. So
At
remote.
Lund University, yes. Which universities are suitable for sustainable energy? Of course, we have energy fields at Lund University, energy conversion. Yeah, some mechanical masters, which has multidisciplinary areas like energy, sustainability, conversion, renewable energies as well. And next question. Construction management. Do we have construction management? Yes, as we said, we have construction field in Lab University, bachelor.
Yeah.
All right. Yes.
Hello again.
Hello.
Thank you, first of all, for beautiful presentation, sir. Actually, I got some another, questions about the Finland. First of all, before the university starting, I watched several videos on the YouTube related to students and, family that they want to immigrate after, jobs and, they're living after 4 or 5 or 6 years maybe to another countries in the Europe. And they mentioned exactly the lack of the consideration people have, for each other in the jobs and, inefficient income. It was the main problem. And they said, you must be fluent in the difficult Finnish language to earn a good income. So could you please, introduce in some sentences about, the incomes and how we can support our, economic according to, when we are studying the university, we don't have any support from a family, that. So how we can support in economics, and also, as you mentioned, there is no fund. So I know it, but how we can, find a job and, going through this. Thank you.
Okay. You're welcome. Would you please mention your name if possible?
It's Mohsen Sajjadi.
Musa Sajjadi.
Mohsen Sajjadi, yes.
Mohsen Sajjadi, okay. So Mohsen, thank you for your question. Now, let's start. Your question is basically extensive. It requires a lot of answers. Yeah, good question. Now, one thing I always advise foreigners when they come to Finland, you are not coming for a job. You are coming for a career. There is a difference between the two. Some people do not distinguish between the two. A job can be McDonald's.
Yeah.
And you may graduate and end up doing a job in McDonald's. That's not why you came to Finland. Otherwise, just stay back in your home country. I think you will do better. So now I would like to mention one thing. When you come to Finland, we have our career services at Lab and Lund University. You will have to be in contact with them to help you with signing up for learning Finnish language. I'm coming to Finnish language. Number one. Number two, they help you to brush up your all working culture towards the Finnish working market. Number two, because it's very important. It's a different one. It's not like, for example, a student coming from Nigeria or Iran or India or Bulgaria or Turkey. It's different in here. Now, they will brush you up when it comes to the working culture in Finland, number one. Number two, they will sign you up for an Finnish language course. Number three, they will invite you when companies come to our campus to talk to companies. Now, the Finnish language, the Finns know that the Finnish language, you cannot speak it fluently. They know that. Themselves, they know it. Even when they see a foreigner start talking Finnish, they talk to them in English, which is a negative thing, but still they know that you wouldn't be fluent in Finland. So what they ask from you is to know basic Finnish, survival Finnish language, a Finnish language that you introduce yourself with, you talk basic Finnish. So that is important in your CV to tell the employer that I'm here committed to integration into this country. even for later on for immigration purposes, because you would need to do UKTST, which is a national exam, and so on. So it's important to level up, and that's compulsory in many countries around the world. If you go to Japan, that's what they ask for you. Despite the fact the Japanese speak fluent English, they will ask that from you. If you go to Germany, the same case. If you go to the Netherlands, it's the same case. But in Finland, they do not expect you to be fluent in Finnish language. So let's say B1 is very, very good level already. And we have 3 language courses at LUT and Lab, semi-intensive and intensive. Okay. Now, when it comes to money, you would need to have 800 euros in your bank account monthly. You don't have to have it blocked, but you will need to have it on a monthly basis. Why? Even if you do work, it's legal to work in Finland 30 hours averagely per week, but do not rely on that as the money that serves for your living expense and your study. Relying on it as an extra money coming to account. If you do not have that, it will create a lot of problems for you to live in the country quite comfortably, because you are looking to focus on your studies, do projects with companies, and do free practical trainings so that you can build up your profile to secure a career when you're graduating or sometime after graduation. Because if you focus on work, you are definitely not building up a career.
That's right.
So this is something I would say from a foreign background myself. So because you're coming into Finland, I have students coming to me, Ilyas, I'd like to do practical training. I'm not looking for money. I said, that's the mentality. I'm looking, if you have a network within LUT, for example, to talk to professor, I'd like to do practical training in summer. Let's say mechanical engineering laboratory. This is the mentality, because the world right now is very competitive. It's not about certificate anymore. It's about your life skills. It's about your technical skills. And more importantly, your soft skills, communication-wise, language-wise, and obviously how much of practical, concrete learning experience you have had. So this is my answer in general. Of course, you can do part-time jobs. I would say mainly Lappeenranta Lahti. The part-time jobs are mainly in logistics, meaning you'll have to have a driving license or hospitality. Yeah.
I got it. Thank you so much for a good answer. And also about the couples. Does university have any, offers for couple students about accommodation or any offers availability for students? Thank you, sir.
Very good question. Yes. Finland is one of the least countries in the world right now that does a spouse visa when you apply for student residence permit, that you can bring a spouse, because in many countries it's impossible anymore. And with that, you can apply accommodation with your couple as well. So with your wife or your spouse in general. And of course, your spouse will not be only sitting down at home. Your spouse will sign up for our social service office, meaning that she will go there and have an appointment to make a plan of her life in Finland too. She will start with learning Finnish language for free and then building up her own career. So it doesn't mean that she comes and stays at home. No, she comes to build up something in Finland as well.
I got it. And also, does she have the work permission also beside of me?
I'm not certain about that point, to be honest. In the first months, I'm not certain. I think you'll have to check that out with Migri. In Migri's website, so you do just student spouse, and you'll find out. I'm not certain. I can't give you wrong information. What I know is that she or he, depending on the spouse, has the full right to access the social services for free.
I got it, sir. Thank you so much for it was so helpful for me. Okay, I hope the best for university and also all students. They have some plans to go to university. Hope the best for you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You too. Good luck. All the best.
Bye-bye.
It's my turn. Hi.
Hi. Hello, Farzin.
Thanks for a beautiful and perfect presentation. I have some question. I have a bachelor and master degree in psychology, and I have a couple of questions regarding the master program at your university. Which master program would I be eligible to apply for with my background in psychology? And is it possible to apply for second master degree, or would that be an issue? Also, I have 18 years gap since my bachelor graduation. Would that affect my application? Thanks.
All right, Fazim, fantastic question. Okay, Mazia definitely will help you out with this in the future. I think you're looking more for a master's degree at LUT in social and communication sciences. Okay, basically, yes, that's no problem if you've graduated 8 years ago or 10 years ago, 12 years ago, or 15 or 20, it doesn't matter. Now, what matters is that if you did bachelor's degree in psychology, so basically you can do social communication sciences at LUT, one of the degree programs. We have 3 degree programs. Mazia, you can consider him later, he will tell you all the degree programs, and when is the application period? That's the upcoming one. It's very important that you have these relevant bachelor studies. And apparently, if you have got psychology, you are very eligible for the psychology, for the social and communication sciences.
Oh, very well. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Okay. Next one.
Someone says my education qualification is an 11-year diploma. Mozart is the high school in Iran. It's until the 12th, right?
Yes, end of 12.
Yeah. So unfortunately, not the 11th year. No, I have a first semester of 12th year.
Okay, Babak. Hello.
Hello. Do you have my voice?
Yes.
Okay. First of all, thank you for the eloquent presentation. I really enjoyed it. So my issue is that I have applied for the several programs several times, and unfortunately I have get rejected. My question is, which program is easier to get into with a low GPA or a low math score? Thank you.
Okay, Babak, are you what kind of background do you have? Are you applying for bachelor's, master's? What did you study? What's your background?
I have a diploma from the mathematical major, and I'm 26 years old, and I have been working in the IT section for these past 7 years. And I want to apply for artificial intelligence or some major like that.
Okay, Mozart, I think you should get into contact with Mozart when it comes to bachelor's at LUT, competition engineering. Or the engineering
and AI, yes.
Yeah. But Babak, please get in touch with Mozart. He will have a look because we need at least minimum 70% GPA and advanced mathematics in that degree, and of course a language. I think Mozart will answer to you about that if you get in touch with him later. Yeah.
I will check your documents and yeah.
If not, then Mozart, so he can apply probably lab July. There's business information technology. That's something could be if his GPA is low, because lab requires only 65% and it doesn't require any advanced mathematics.
Thank you for your answer. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. I think if we are done, I'll have to have 5 minutes to jump into next meeting. If you have got any more questions, you can always be in touch with Mozart, and if I think he's definitely up to answer your questions. If not, he will always be in touch with me, and I'll be more than happy to answer questions. By the way, we have got a great Iranian community growing here at LUT and Lab. Congratulations. I love to see the internationals coming to Finland to enrich our country. But one thing, we're looking for an Iranian restaurant. We don't have yet good Iranian restaurants in here. Because I know the Iranian food is fantastic. I've been to Turkey and I've eaten there, and I met the Iranians in Turkey. They say, if Ilyas, you think the Turkish food is great, then the Iranian one is on the next level. So we definitely need an Iranian restaurant, either Lahti or Lapenrat, and I'm talking about authentic Iranian restaurant.
Yes, thank you. I can invite you to some very nice Iranian restaurants if you come one day to Helsinki.
Helsinki.
It's my pleasure, yes. Some very nice. And maybe soon in Lappeenranta and Lahti, of course.
Sure. Let's do that then.
Yes.
All right.
Yes. Thank you for your time and comprehensive information you provided, as always.
Hopefully. All right. So for now, thank you, Mozart. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your time. All the way from Iran. Greetings to the Iranians, wherever they are, in Iran or even here in Finland or abroad. And I will see you next time around. Probably I'll see you at LUT's or Labs campus. Mozart, thank you. We'll be in touch.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. مرسی از اینکه با من همراه بودین و این وبینار رو تا انتها مشاهده کردین. اگر سوالی براتون پیش اومده و نکته‌ای مونده که هنوز براتون مبهم هست، میتونین در قسمت کامنت ها بپرسید و من اون سوال رو پاسخ میدم. یه ویدیوی دیگه هم در چنل ما موجوده در ارتباط با شرایط و نکات تحصیل در دانشگاه الیوتی فنلاند، همون جایی که من خودم تحصیل کردم و فرصت تحصیل در مقاطع لیسانس، ارشد مجدد و دکترا هم در اون دانشگاه هست. اگر دوست دارین حتما این ویدیو رو ببینید، میتونه براتون مفید باشه. و در انتها ازتون میخوام اگر این ویدیو رو دوست داشتید سابسکرایب و لایک هم انجام بدید. به امید دیدار.